Welcome back to Good Morning La Land on Transformation Tuesday. It's important to transform our lives around food and diets, knowing that they just don't seem to work. So Eleonora Bastos is in the house. She's a speaker, author, and founder of the Diet Free
Project.
I like this. I don't believe in diets.
I know, me neither.
They never worked out very well.
No, and they're meant to not work because otherwise you'll be a one-time paying consumer, and nobody wants that, right?
So why are everyone so obsessed with diets?
Because it's very good marketing, right? And everybody wants to look a certain way, so like they trick you into like wanting to, like they put out those stereotypes of like the way that you should look, and then they give you plans that are quick fixes, but they're not meant to keep you there. So then you go back, and the famous yo-yo dieting, right? So like you start, you like get on a diet, you get to your ideal weight, but then restriction is not going to work for the rest of your life.
I never do well with
It's
not gonna work
on anything, right?
Life is not perfect. You cannot control life for the rest of your life. Eventually, you're going to go to a birthday party. You're going to go to whatever, like out for dinner. You're going to slip. You're not going to eat so good. You're not going to feel good about yourself. And then you say, oh, well, I'm going to start again tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and then you don't. And then months later, you're back to your original weight. And then you have to like go back to it.
Okay, so what's the Diet Free?
It's a non-diet approach. So basically, what happened? It goes to my story. So I suffered with depression and eating disorder when I was a kid. I was sexually abused, and so that like brought me into like I call them my black years. So
I had a few of those. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So depression, eating disorder, and drug abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't. I was so confused and lost, and I didn't know what to do. And then I knew something needed to change, and then but I didn't know how and what. Right. So I was so deep into my eating disorder, and like my mind wasn't there. And I moved. I'm originally from Italy, so I was
nice.
born and raised in Italy, and I moved to Miami. And when I moved to Miami, I met Jill, which models we eat. And
she's
yes,
amazing.
so
So
she
good.
was just starting her brand, and I have a background in marketing, so I started helping her out building the brand. And because like we were spending so much time together, and like I started changing my diet. So I started changing my diet, and all of a sudden my depression was gone, and I started feeling good in my body. And then all of a sudden, like my brain was clear, and I'm like, right, like I'm control of my life. I can do whatever I want. So now I can change it and make it, the world is my oyster.
So what were some of those changes?
So it's for me, it's all about like listening to your body. Like I teach.
Well, my body wants sugar.
Right.
And lots of it.
I'm listening.
And lots of
I
it.
hear it screaming.
But like here's the thing, right? So like our body is a perfect machine, and whatever the signal that is sending you constantly, it's a lack of nutrients or like an imbalance that you have within you. So our body is constantly talking to us, and you need to remember is that given the opportunity, it will always heal itself. So if you learn to listen to the cues and give it what it actually needs and not what you think you want, because it's not about like having that piece of cake, if it's craving sugar, you probably have a gut imbalance, right? So like you want to like go and restore your flora, and then that's going to go away.
I love this point because I do think that like mindfulness is one of the greatest and sort of overlooked principles in a great diet. It's like noticing how you feel before you eat what you eat, and then noticing how you feel as you eat what you eat and after.
Absolutely.
But sometimes I think we get so caught up in the story in our head about how good the sugar is supposed to taste that we miss the fact that it didn't feel so good.
But here's the thing, right? And like this is like one of the things that I think I do differently, and that's what I experienced on myself, is that the problem with a lot of the diet and plans that are out there, they only address the physical body. Now, you are what you eat because you think about it, you are what you eat, but you actually are only what you eat. Like it goes into your stomach, it gets broken down, and it feeds your cells, your organs, everything that works in your body is because of the food you put it in. But then at the same time, you eat your feelings and emotion, because when you're sad and lonely, you're going to go for the carbohydrates and the sugar. But it's not a case. That happens because your body's creating serotonin, which is the feel-good hormone, so it's trying to feel better, so it's reaching out for that because that's when it's going to stimulate in your brain.
Yeah.
So you have to address your emotional state as much as your diet. You cannot do one without the other.
1,000%.
But what if you need to address your emotional state before you can address your diet? If there is somebody who is struggling with depression or an eating disorder, the thought of eating is terrifying for some. So, you can heal yourself with food. Well, if I can't eat, how am I going to heal myself?
So here's the thing, right? Like I think like the biggest change that happened for me, because I was going back and forth between like I started with eating anorexia, and then I would do like anorexia for some time, and then I'd be like opposite sides, so binge eating, and then bulimic, and then back to anorexia. And I've done that on a cycle for 8-9 years.
Living hell. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So what happened then, though, is just like I started realizing the power of food. So I started taking away the fear, because if you're feeding your body the highest possible ingredients, you will see a change immediately. Like there's like some quick changes. I have like this like workshop that I do about like energy. You can have like coconut oil, or ghee butter, and put it in your coffee, the famous bulletproof coffee, which I don't endorse. But like the MCT oil will give you like within 20 seconds, like you could already start feeling the difference. Within like 10 minutes, you are awake and alert. So like when you start feeding your body with the right nutrients, you don't have to eat a lot. But for me, it's like starting instead of having, like I used to have like 1 apple a day and 1 protein bar, and that was it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really restrict.
And then like I would have like a spoon of apple cider vinegar whenever I would feel like a cramp for hunger, and try to like avoid eating.
Awful, yeah.
So it was really, really bad. But like then eventually what happened is that I started like substituting and eating natural food. So I'm a huge believer that like we should avoid everything that comes in a package. Like it's just, like it's probably not good for you. Like now it's getting better, but it's especially like 10 years ago, like it wasn't. Whatever comes.
So what do people? They work with you one-on-one. They come to group things. How do they work with you?
So I've been doing one-on-one for a very long time now, and I'm trying to transition and doing more events. So you can still like come and have like a program with me on a one-on-one basis, but like the next big thing is going to be probably retreats, and like to really show, because like you can really see the result within a week of changing your diet, and even depression, and like all of these are like caused by imbalances within your body. So if you change your diet immediately, the fog will like lift from your brain, and it's gonna be great. So like if I can get like for 1 week people to experience that, then there's no way to go back. Once you start feeling better, like there's no way of going back to that.
Love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're such a wealth of wisdom. Tell folks about the book too.
Yeah, so I wrote a book, which is the program that I have created throughout the years, and it's a 12-week program. We're gonna address first the mind. So mindset, it's all about like finding your why, the reason why you're doing this, and connecting with like the feeling. And we're gonna talk about like your story, so how to get rid of the story you've been telling yourself, and why like it's time to let it go for the past and leave it in the past. And then we speak about the nutrition. And then the last part addresses the lifestyle. So, and it's just like to teach people like to not restrict yourself. It's okay to have a glass of wine. It's
And
okay.
go feed yourself.
Yeah, go feed
Tell
yourself.
everyone where they can find and follow you.
You can follow me on the Diet Free Project on Instagram, and even the website, thedietfreeproject.com.
Nice. Thank
Thank
you.
you so
So
much.
Thank
much.
you for having me, guys.